Intro. We are back.
We're back.
It is episode 100, and Carcass does it on his fingers. 147. Nope. Oh, yeah. No, you did it right. I did it differently. Sorry. It's the same number of fingers. Here's a finger for you.
Yeah, that would be your favorite.
It is episode 147 of the Metal Round Table. I am Metal Rob. With me, as always, is the great
Carcass, John.
and continuing to be new and improved with
Scott, calm and cool waters.
See, now I know better than that because I talked to him on the phone earlier. So
Yeah, I know.
I know the real story.
See, I call him Scott
trying
Raging
to be.
Waters.
But before
I took the
we
raging
get
off
to-
for today because I'm trying not to be.
Yes. But before we get to shout outs, which we will go to in just a moment, we have with us today from Denver, Colorado, the greatness of
INSIPIDUS. Oh yeah, that was our
Death
cue.
Metal
Yeah.
Titan is what I called him in the. Is that accurate?
What?
Yeah.
Death
Insipidus.
Metal Titans.
Death Metal Titans. That's what I call them.
Whoa, oh, whoa, hey,
I'll take
someone's gonna get angry about you saying that.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
I'll take it.
So I don't know how this happened before we get into the shout outs here. So Baron von Headbanger has been on with us for about 22 or 23 minutes. And I can't figure out, because I'm an idiot with technology, how he knows that we've been on. But I'm going to very quickly go through his comments. So here we go. It is time for the very first episode of the Baron von Headbanger show. So let's go check this out.
Okay.
If that's a band name, that's pretty funny.
Hell yeah.
If it's a condition someone has, then it's not really.
Good point.
Diabetes
not.
is not funny unless it's Wilfred Brimley saying it.
Oh shit.
Well, oh shit.
It's actually kind of funny just saying Wilfred Brimley. Go on, try it.
Wilfred Brimley.
Wilfred Brimley.
All right.
Then we get a nice laugh. Yes, he was in Cocoon.
That is correct.
That's another funny word.
Wow, this guy's really diving deep, dude.
Too much time on my hands. Referencing Styx. And here we go. If you watch old Styx video carefully, you can sometimes see Dennis DeYoung's nose wobble. So I don't know if he's drunk or high or both, but we're glad you're here, brother.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah,
That was
dude.
providing me with some entertainment.
But we have a band from Colorado, so they could be all the above too. You never know.
legally.
Hey,
I
Hey,
want
what's
to comment
that?
on. Let me comment on the name and what he said about diabetes insipidus. So first of all, the name of the band came up from the word insipid, and because of Travis Hadley's amazing double bass and my love for Exodus,
Yeah.
I kind of thought of, hey, let's add a US insipidus, and then we looked it up, and we saw that insipidus was the Latin word for insipid, and that's what we wrote. Only later did we find out that there was also a condition that is called diabetes insipidus.
Insipidus.
So insipidus is just
So
A part of the
somebody we were like
Yeah.
someone was like, how do we spell your
Big
band
brain.
name? And so we spelled it out for them and they look it up on their phone and they're like, yeah, I'm just getting stuff for like diabetes.
so.
Dudes.
So, we,
So wait a minute.
So yeah, I mean, no shame to all of our
Diabetes isn't
Yeah.
funny, guys.
Yeah,
No, diabetes
No,
is
it's not funny. But if you did it in Ode to Exodus, is that
We're
a
just
way
gonna
to?
run with it, honestly. Sorry,
The
sorry, Earth.
I think that
That's our band name now.
it wasn't an ode to Exodus as much as, first of all, I love Exodus. Yeah. Love Exodus, my favorite album.
That's a good word. It's a
Is,
good word,
uh,
Exodus.
Yeah, Impact is Imminent. It's my favorite album there. But
I like these guys better already.
but no, I like the us, and I like the sound of it, and it really reminded me of our music, which is a lot of fast double basses that are kind of groovy. Insipidus kind of had that ring to it, and I think
Rolls off the tongue.
On brand in a great meta way. I don't know.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
well, let's hit some shout outs real quick. But first of all, I keep saying that. I keep putting us off. We're going to get to all of that. But first, I got a couple things that I got to figure out. First of all, Carcass, is that a thong hanging on your doorknob back there?
That is not a thong hanging on my doorknob. And if
I'm
it were,
pretty sure
it's
that's
none
a
of your
thong.
doggone business.
Hey,
That's
more
your,
power to
I'm
you.
pretty
I have
sure
a
that's your
multiplicity of things
I'll check
hanging
on
from
mine.
my doorknobs.
thong. And I'm pretty sure that it's a thong, and I'm pretty sure you got it at the concert you went to last night. So let's get into this for just a second.
Look, I
So,
told
Cap-
you
nope.
I've already set up the
SpongeBob.
ring in the parking lot.
Nope,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Mr.
Let's go.
SpongeBob Brutal Pants here, Insect Warfare 24/7. Guess
Yeah,
where he
Yes,
was?
sir.
last night?
Insect Warfare 24/7,
Ow,
baby.
ow.
Woo!
Shout out.
Guess
Guess
where he
what?
was last
Time
night?
to time.
I was at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, and I was talking dirty to me.
Def Leppard,
Watching-
Motley Crue, Poison, and Joan Jett. Uh-huh.
Yep.
I don't ever want to hear anything about Hair Metal Rob anymore.
Oh, you're going to always hear about that. But let me explain something to you. I'm not making excuses because these were cheap tickets and I was out with family and friends. And I have to tell you, I would prefer the German version of Poison, but the American version just destroyed the other two bands. They were good. They were really good. You remember the time? Okay, here's another dirty little secret. Remember the time we went to see Winger?
Yeah, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love
And
Hair
I'm
Metal.
like, Winger, are you nuts? And you just didn't want to stand there by yourself. And I was duly impressed. Those guys are good. Those guys are good. So, Hair Metal Carcass. See it now. It's started. Thanks, Papa Wayne. Thank you and no thank you. But I went because it was a night out on the town. It was a safe place to be until Tommy Lee wanted to expose himself to the whole world. But that's for another day. Yes,
Yep.
I saw Poison. Yes, I thought they were good. Even Def Leppard was serviceable. Motley Crue sucked. They should never make the money that they make. They're terrible. And like I said, I will fight anybody in the parking lot over this
True
opinion.
facts.
So
Hot sports. That is
all
a
that
thong
being
on your
all that
doorknob.
being said,
Well,
said,
I
it
just
was-
wanted to say that I know you carry the banner for all things brutal, but I knew where you were last night.
right.
So speaking
so-
of shout outs now, let's get to that real quick because
Get to
let's
that.
get to the band. We want to talk to the band really quickly. Scott's going to take care of different kind of shout out for us here in a second, but brand new album from 6x6 dropped on Friday. This features friend of the show, Nigel Glockler from Saxon. And it's a pretty good album, man. I was pretty fired up about it. It's a little proggy. Carcass, I think you would be all over this. So check out 6x6, Nigel Glockler, drummer of Saxon, friend of the show.
Well, you had me Nigel Glockler, so he's a
Yeah.
funny guy, and you know, we'll,
I like
Scooter, how about you?
we'll have him back one day.
Just like I like Prague.
Okay,
What's up now? Am I up?
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
you're up.
Oh, I'm up. All right. Well, I got some shout outs real quick. First of all, I need to do a little pimping of Vindicator because the new album is out now, is shipping now. You can get it on vinyl or CD. NoLifeToMetalRecords.com. Vindicator rules. So get that. And also the new Saint is out, which is called Heaven Fell. Straight up old school heavy metal from a band that's been around since what, 81? These guys have been around forever.
Yep.
But vinyl CD, that one too is out now. And I just picked up the new Savage Master on cassette and vinyl. And this is cool. Check this out. New live album from Madrost, California's Death Thrashers. This is only available through the band's Bandcamp, I believe. So it's not on a label. This is something they put out themselves. But it's old. It's
Madrost.
Madrost.
Isn't that it's a Hungarian word for something, right?
Yeah, no, they're friends of the show.
I think it's a Hungarian word for gout.
Check this
All
out.
right. Well, we've got the diabetes and the gout covered now on the show. All these
Nice. Diabetes and gout. Let's go.
Hey,
we're hitting all the
Nevermore.
good.
Oh, very nice.
Dead Heart and Dead World test pressing for the cassette.
Yeah,
So
that's
this thing's also
sick.
that's on sale now too.
Nevermore slaps.
And finally,
We should get a test cassette.
Tourniquet we lost a member of the music
Oh,
community.
yeah.
Drummer Ted Kirkpatrick died this week. One of the greatest drummers ever, in my opinion. I mean, he's. What do you say up there, Rob, about our buddy Ted?
Oh yeah, prolific. Fortunate to have been able to work on some music with Ted. One of the labels that Scott and I do work for occasionally reissued their first 3 albums, and yeah, I think I did meet him once, back in the late '90s, but you know,
Wait, so is that
his music was cool.
Is that the end of Tourniquet?
I would say so.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was Ted.
They were recording. He was recording a new album too, so I don't know. I don't know what happened to the new album.
It's news to me like real time right now. That's really crazy.
Damn, dog.
Yep.
Yeah, he had a freak lung disease, not cancer, but some kind of lung disease that would scar his lungs up, and all of a sudden he couldn't breathe anymore, and then he passed away. It was like he found out about it in I guess 2 or 3 months, and then he was gone.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that sucks. So we lost another guy. Of course, we've lost quite a few recently. So in any case, that's it. Go ahead.
Car crash.
I don't know. I got nothing. Shout out to Brett Michaels and no, I'm just kidding.
I know that's a poison thong on that doorknob.
It's not a poison
Yes,
thong.
it
That
is.
happens to be an Oakley bag with some Oakleys in it. And
You just turn the camera around and it's just nothing but poison, like a shrine.
that's right. It is a
No,
shrine.
that would be my room.
That would be his room. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, you know what? I'll shout out Big Rob's Billiards in Euless,
for sure.
Texas,
Shout out to
And,
Big Rob.
because that's where I met these dudes sitting here above me, and you know, whether there were 9 patrons that paid or 9,000 patrons or 90,000, they acted like it was 90,000. So Insipidus tore it up.
Every
It sounded
time.
great. We had a mini pit working with myself, and
Thank
anyway,
you.
it was cool, and they will give us, I'm sure, all the gory details because there was some gore. I think.
Yep, Steve Grimmin is exactly who I was thinking about. TJ.
Yeah.
He's the other one. He passed away. We talked a little bit about him last week. So
Yeah, and hey, welcome back there, TJ. And yeah, I'll shout out Saxon's "Innocent is No Excuse." "Innocence is No Excuse." TJ's favorite record from
That's
Saxon. So
I like it.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna let
Saxon.
Carcass drive the bus here in a second, because you know these guys, you've met these guys. But
yeah,
I'll
we're
tell
like,
you, when I get it, you guys know that I am not the extreme metal person of the show. I like my Motley Crue and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Kiss and
you wouldn't have liked the Motley Crue from
Heel.
last night.
No, right. But
And you know
I
what?
love all that stuff, but
Yeah.
I also love my thrash metal. But when Carcass stops me down and says, "Hey man, I've got something that you need to listen to," and it's death metal, I pay attention because I have gotten to know most notably Turbid North by listening to your recommendation, and now also Insipidus, which for me was pretty cool. I went to check it out before the show because admittedly I had not heard a note of it until an hour ago.
Wait, so you just listened to the demo?
Yes.
Oh
I've
God!
not heard his
Oh
demo today.
God!
That was really.
we recorded that. We recorded that with 2 AKG P150 room microphones into like a 2-channel Scarlett interface in Tim's garage
My garage.
in like a day.
Well,
Because we got pressured to by
the
friends of
roommates,
ours.
yeah.
well, it speaks to your talent because for my no talent ass, I heard it and I was like, there was so much about it that I liked as far as the way that you guys do music. I felt like it was there was kind of a rock and roll death metal feel. I liked that the vocals were harsh, but I could understand kind of what you were saying. So there was a lot for me to dig about it. And I'm not a huge death metal fan, but Carcass, take it away. Tell us about meeting these dudes, and you guys just open the floodgates.
Well, once again, I stumble across great things if you just put yourself in the right place, and so I just happened to be in the right place, and of course now myself and Insipidus were connected on an astral plane that is. Uh-oh.
Keep going.
Well,
Keep going. We'll bring them back.
Yeah, bring them back, but they got to hear what I have to say so I can introduce them, and then they can take it from there. I guess production value. But anyway, I saw them at a small little billiard hall in Euless, Texas, which is like in the mid-cities area. If you're familiar with Arlington, whatever, just north of Cowboy Stadium, north of Globe Life Field, where I was last night, which I have to tell you, I thought, why are they having this in a stadium? I mean, certainly they can't fill this place up. Well, that place was packed. I mean, packed. And I'm talking nosebleed seats that started at $145. And who knows what the folks on the floor paid. But it was insane that there was that many people there, and on a rainy Monday night. And I realized this thing has been postponed for several years and what have you. And as much as Motley Crue kind of sucked and you couldn't really tell which songs were which, their production and their show itself was wow. It was unbelievable. But please, Vince, just let's get John Corabi back. Let's find somebody, but they can at least harmonize and hum, and you can still hear Nikki. He still can harmonize. Tommy can still harmonize. It was distracting, but it was wild production, and it was video boards and lots of silhouettes of pole dancers, and what you'd probably come to expect. But when I first saw Motley back in the day, it was at Ricky Rackman's Cat House, so it was far less production than what was last night. But anyway, back to Insipidus. I hope they returned at some point in time, or this is going to be a short show.
Well, but do like you did for me and tell me, kind of describe the music, because you were correct. I was very interested, not being a death metal fan. I was interested, and I feel like they've got some cool stuff to offer. So explain
they really do. It starts with the drumming for me. Travis is he's a very skilled guy. He's artistic, if I can say that about the drums, but he has a certain flair that's not your normal, super fast grinding blast beat, whatever. But to your point, there they are. I said hey, were your ears burning, Travis? I was just talking about you. The drumming part of it was more melodic, and they can't hear us probably. They just see us talking.
This is great. Production value. But the long and the short of it is they're not your, if you looked at their logo, you'd think, oh, this is, going to be like a screamo type thing, but it wasn't like that at all. There's a little melody there. There's a lot of time changes. There's some atmosphere. And I think that goes with the guys, the guy that they're recording with right now has done Blood Incantation, Spectral Voice, Primitive Man, some real heavy hitters from Denver. And we could probably spend a whole show just talking about Denver, the Denver music scene, which is like insane. So there's more than just the demo, because when
they're in the studio now recording. Yeah, and they're in the studio. They just finished the recording, I believe, and it's in production now. So they.
But this is the first full-length album.
This will be the first full-length, and they played songs from that record, and it was great. I mean, it was interesting because it was different, and the fact that they were willing to do it, because none of the other bands that were scheduled to play showed up. And one of the bands did call in and say, "Hey, we're stuck in another town. We couldn't come in." They were actually a local.
They're back.
Band. They're back again. Like, we can't hear them. Hopefully, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Okay.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. No.
We'll keep talking.
But anyway, they have a very interesting story how they got together. But we had a chance to just sit on the curb and talk.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. Hey, back.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, I was just telling them kind of how we met, and the fact that you were the only band that showed up. and you were still willing to play, and that you played some of the newer songs. Canada sticks in my brain. I really like that one.
Nice.
But I liked all the songs because they were kind of eclectic and different. I was talking about the drumming and so forth, how it had a little more of an artistic flair, probably because you're an artist. And he's a very good one, by the way. You should check and go ahead and feel free to plug away at your stuff because it's really cool, and I can't wait for my T-shirt order to come in.
So part of what we do on the show when we get a band like this, Scott and I don't know anything about you, so go through the actual process. Tell us who you are and what you do in the band, because Scott and I actually don't know.
I'm Travis, and I play drums.
I'm
Very
Yoav.
well.
I play guitar.
And I'm Timmy, and I'm the front man and bassist.
I like it.
And we're
Okay.
from Denver, Colorado, and we met about 2 years ago.
Yep.
We both moved here about 2 years ago.
All of us moved.
All
Yeah,
roughly
same.
from different places in the United States.
Tim had more experience in Colorado than both of us did. He was a military brat, and so he spent a lot of time in Colorado Springs back in the day.
Yeah.
And but then moved back out here from Columbus, Georgia. What year did you come back out here?
2017. I've been living in Colorado Springs since about then, and then I moved here like last April, and I don't know, it's been awesome ever since.
Yeah.
Like we've been jamming all the time.
So Tim and
partying all the time.
Tim and I actually knew each other from Columbus, Georgia. That's where I was born and raised. And we were kind of a part of the same music scene, but two different groups of people. And then I was traveling to Montana, and I had a birthday, and I had a big going away party thing, and he came over and got birthday drunk with me super early in the day, and that was our only real time getting to hang out with each other. And then we kind of parted ways for years, and then I got to Colorado, and I was like, I got to start a band. I'm gonna go crazy. And I was like, who do I know that plays bass? Oh, Tim plays bass. He's 2 hours away in Colorado Springs.
Chat.
And so I started driving 2 hours to Colorado Springs twice a week, and would drive him home at night. And we would go. We met this guy on a Facebook metal page.
This is true.
I came from New York, actually, with my family during COVID. I was from Queens, New York, and yeah, we were in a tight situation there, and we had to. So I had an opportunity to move to Colorado, and to fulfill my dream of being in a death metal band, and that's where I really put myself out there. I've been playing guitar all my out through my life, and I saw this guy. I saw him playing guitar, but I saw him playing with so much passion, beautifully, and I hit him up and I said, "Hey, let's start a band." And then he came over, and we had dinner together, and we talked about our dreams. And then we set up a time to meet up at Rocket Space in Denver, Colorado.
Shout out to Rocket Space, incubator of mini bands.
Yes, and that's where we started off playing covers. He brought Tim along, and we started off playing covers like Sepultura, Dayside, Death. That's where we kind of
got our bearings that way. We're like, how are we going to start this band? Well, let's learn how to play together. And so we kind of just picked the covers, and we didn't put a lot of emphasis on trying to get them to be very analytically correct covers. We were just we all have our own styles of playing, so interpret the cover as you will. We all know the forms and the parts of the song, and let's just get together and kind of jam it out. And that was very integral, I think, in kind of figuring out the direction of the band.
We were really actually doing it just to have fun and play songs that we like. And then actually there was this band doesn't exist anymore. Life Among Trees,
yeah.
And they saw us play, and they're like, "Wow, you guys are awesome!"
Yeah.
But when they heard that this was covers, they were like, we saw the disappointment in their faces, and we were disappointed. Oh, we wish these were our songs. And
the fact that they couldn't tell that they were covers, though.
Well, these weren't death metal people.
Right.
These were just average rock and roll people, punk rock dudes, guys coming from the hardcore scene. They had their own punk rock
They
band
knew
going on.
Sepultura.
They knew
liked
Sepultura.
But they did like it. They did like
Yeah.
what they hear, and you are right. It wasn't unconventional to the way the
Sure.
original songs were played. Because this guy's like a groove machine, and this guy does
I'm funky.
Funky too, and I think that we got something cool going on where we played together, and then we were like, okay, we were challenged, so yeah, so I went
Yeah,
home.
we were kind of challenged. They were like
challenged.
They were, Omar, his name's Omar, the vocalist for
Right.
Life Among Trees.
Shout out
He's
to
like
Omar.
walking up the staircase of Rocket Space, and he's like, "When are you guys putting out fucking music?" And we're like, "We don't have any original music." He's like, "We better write some songs and record them." And so then we're like, "Damn, I guess we gotta like buy an interface and like some mics and like record a demo real quick." So that's the demo that you heard,
Right.
Rob. We did that.
So, and you said you recorded that in the garage with 2 microphones?
My
And
garage.
AK, do we have one of the mics here? Actually, no, it's in my car.
Yeah,
AK
no.
is we had 2 AKG P120s, and we recorded in Reaper, and it was in Tim's garage, and it was super bare bones. And I was kind of like, I had like recorded some stuff before, but I was like, oh, I mean, it's a demo, so who the fuck cares? Just record it and have it out, so that way we can like get shows and get the ball rolling.
Right.
Which happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And then we added more songs, and more songs came, and now we just finished. I feel like 2 days ago we finished mixing our full-length album, which is going to be called Ubiquity Hereafter, which is also one of the songs that will be featured on the album. And we recorded it with Pete DeBoer of World Famous Studios, which we love.
He's the guy.
Yes, and
Shout out to Pete DeBoer at World Famous Studios. He is the man.
and I just listened to it on the way here, and I was kind of after a time where I didn't listen to it at all, I was kind of like, I was very happy with it, and and I'm very happy to be a part of a project like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the first record that I think all 3 of us have actually like played in and like recorded in like an actual very like serious like studio setting where it hasn't been like a buddy's like garage or bedroom.
And
Yeah.
and not on a
And-
computer, so there's
It was all analog, straight to tape.
Wow.
Off of a Rupert Neve board. I can't remember what model. I think it was like only like
9 something.
it's only like
9.
8 of them in the entire world, and he has one of them.
And
It's
it's-
like
and
an
it-
amazing
The
board.
top 5 consoles, but it's really the top one. Like it's the
They're
number
like-
one.
It sounds so great. It was amazing getting the mix on that. And
Amazing.
Pete is like such an awesome guy to workshop with, like in the room, like in the moment. And the album sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. Well, just FYI, I tried to buy a T-shirt on your page.
Sorry, we're in
I'm gonna
the.
close
Denver.
this.
Denver.
Bring this in.
We told you about that FBI bust.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
And now they're here. Sorry, I told them to wait till 6.
Yeah, wait till 6. We need an episode.
yeah. We're,
So,
Well,
when do you anticipate the record coming out?
He needs to finish the album cover, and we need to find some. Which, by the way, the album cover exists. It's done, but he's insisting on adding more, and we're
It's
this
not.
guy's a perfectionist.
and that's kind of
and
how
he
the
needs to
music.
calm down.
And that's kind of how we're like. I think how we create everything. It's like everybody adds to. So if he wants,
We're always arguing on like
Right.
if it's done or not.
So-
Everything we do. So we're like
Right.
we kind of
Well,
have this like
Can I just interject something on the artistic side of things? I mean, I do the same thing, but I can tell you that Travis has a style that's very similar to like the Voivod style.
whoa.
It's very interesting. It's lots of futuristic, spacey looking creatures and aliens and skulls, and it's really, really cool. So it fits the music, but and once again, I think that if you could make that artistic picture come out in the drumming or in the music itself, then
I think that
that's what happens.
I think that the painting, it's an oil painting. It's probably like that's this big. I think it really does capture the album in a very visual way. I didn't really think about it. Yoav was actually at I have a screen printing shop. Shout out to Soulflower Printing, Mass Exodus. But I had it hanging up in the shop, and I have it. I always like hang up like paintings that aren't finished, because that way people that don't know if they're like finished or not can like say something about them, and it gives me an idea of like what to do or if I should stop or not. And I was like, that's the album cover right there.
Yeah.
But there's a guy that has too much pink on him, so I have to get the pink out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't.
gotta get the pink. Dude, the guy, this guy's pink. He can't be pink.
Do you
He
hear
needs
what
to be-
he's saying? He's saying there's
We're
too
gonna
much
argue
fucking
over
pink.
colors.
What
We're
does
gonna
that
argue
even
over
mean?
colors. I don't.
Bro,
want
it looks beautiful. It's
But the
fucking
color,
awesome.
color, I think the color, and I think that this is like not by chance, but I think it's your style, your color
I love
palette.
it.
It really fits, I think, the band's music.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's
fucking pink.
it's the
What?
same.
It's a very like it's a very
red.
medieval. It's a very
red
like medieval painting though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Very medieval.
That's why. It's
And the
awesome.
songs in it are amazing. There's 7 songs in it that we played just now. Finished playing Texas, where we met Carcass John. We were very lucky to be there at the right time at the right place to meet him, and now we're here with you guys.
It's a beautiful Datsun you have there, by the way.
Thanks.
She's
No.
very,
It helps you be calm
very
and cool.
wholesome.
I believe that is Ace.
Ace.
He's Ace.
Yep.
My
And yes, he
Ace.
was named after Ace Frehley.
So when is the album coming out?
Yeah. The album's coming out whenever I finish the painting for the album cover.
And then
Well,
when
hurry up, dang it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're-
I can fly through with Sharpie. We can get this done, man.
yes.
Done.
Sometimes Sharpie's what you need. A nice crisp black line. That's all
yeah,
you
he
need.
had Sharpie. Also,
Yeah.
I want to add that.
Oh, bro, TJ Lewis in the comments, bro. We'll help you find a band, dude. Especially if you play drums. We need more drummers out here, please.
He's a killer frontman and singer. He was in our house band Forebode. You might check them out. They're from Austin, Texas,
Forebode.
and he's
Forebode are awesome.
Yeah, and he has a couple other projects, but they actually played my birthday right in there, right in my living room, and it was awesome. It was, and we broadcast it live, so you might hit up our YouTube and check it out.
Forebode. It's a good
But
name.
yeah, he's not only is he a good front man and a good dude, but he's an exceptional person, and he got a little bit of flow. We heard some flow in there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And it shocked the world. But anyway,
Straight
I
up rap
digress.
on your ass.
You got
Yeah.
that rhyme scheme.
Yeah,
Yep.
you got that
You got it.
AATB.
You got that Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, he can get some doctors. He can get down with some Dr. Seuss. Man, we got a lot of new
Metal your
people.
Face off, and then hip hop you straight
Right.
between the eyes.
He'll hip hop you back to health.
Oh, yeah,
We got a lot of new folks here this week.
Yeah, we do.
Stephra Greenhagen, welcome back. Lisette Miller, hey, from Pennsylvania. So we've got Norway, Pennsylvania. We've got
Miller said, "Yikers,
yeah.
yikers."
That was probably my fault. She probably said it over something that was mentioned, and I didn't get the comment up in time. So I apologize, Lisette.
Are we gonna get canceled? What's happening?
No, yeah, well, it
No,
probably.
no.
I hope. I hope so. That means we're doing what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
But-
so
Cool.
the record comes out soon.
Are you putting it out? Are you putting it out yourself, or are you working with a label?
We're working on that. We
We're
don't really
looking
know. We have a couple of labels that we really have in mind that we would really like to use, and we have friends that are in bands that are already in some of these labels, and so we're gonna reach out to some people and see like what turns out to be a best fit, and
we're looking for somebody to actually just press the albums.
yeah, we just want someone to help us press the
and
album. Really,
distribute a little bit, help us distribute it.
I'm
And
finishing the cover.
oh
oh,
yes,
excellent! Send me the results, please. Send me the results.
Yeah.
we're
Was
looking.
that a smiley face, Rob?
Yes.
I think it was. The pink guy has a smiley face now.
Excellent.
So you guys finish the record. You're going to finish the record, or the
Yeah.
record is finished. You're going to finish the cover. Are we touring?
Oh, for sure.
all the time.
All the
Actually,
time, dude.
We've toured twice this year.
We did.
Yep.
We have a lot. Yeah, quick shout out to people that we really actually love and appreciate in Denver. That Astral Tomb. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Astral Tomb. They are on
Back to
Blood
band
Harvest.
camp.
Blood Harvest Records. Yeah, they have an album that just dropped called Soul Gazer. Fucking insane, dude. They're awesome dudes, and their music's very, very, very good.
And also,
Um,
Chronos Compulsion.
Yeah.
We're going out to party after this interview. We're going to actually play some music and have a barbecue with Chronos.
Yeah, with Chronos
Yeah.
Compulsion. Chronos Compulsion, that's awesome. That's a trio. Astral Tomb's also a trio. But we went on tour with Chronos and Astral to back in April, I guess.
March.
Yeah, March. And we started in Las Vegas, and then we went down to San Diego, drove all the way up to Seattle, came back down to Salt Lake City.
Played many shows.
And it was
on the way.
about right around 2 weeks. And then we just did Texas, where we met Rob.
Right.
And in the future, we're definitely going to be going to the East Coast.
Yeah, we're looking for New York. Actually, is on
New
our
York.
target. It looks like a realistic place for us to end up soon,
Yeah.
hopefully. And the sky's the limit. We even had we even are talking about maybe hitting up Mexico and a little bit trying to spread our name as
Mexico will
sure.
be sick.
as widespread as we can.
Are you able to let us in on who you're kind of flirting with as far as a label, or are you kind of keeping that?
Actually,
I don't. You know, I mean, I'm all about transparency. I don't really give a shit. I mean, nobody even knows who we are. These labels, we haven't like reached out to any of them, so maybe. You know,
I mean, I reached out. I reached
out.
I reached to Caligari Records, and they asked me to
Caligari,
to send them stream. But I'm willing. We're open to. We just wanna get the music to. I see Scott Peaceful Waters has maybe might have.
I honestly am really I'm stretching here, but I just really appreciate the bands that are on Profound Lore. And I would really like to get on Profound Lore if possible.
Yeah.
Stargazer, if anyone's heard of the band Stargazer, it's like one of my favorite bands. They're on Profound Lore. They do a lot of amazing stuff. It's a very diverse record label, and I feel like they have a lot of the more avant-garde bands.
They have the Dead Congregation there.
Yeah.
And
awesome. It's like, you know, I feel like with Insipidus, you know, there's a really massive wave of like new school OSDM that's kind of coming around right now. And
What
that's
does that mean?
Old school death metal.
Okay.
And that's like a pretty big movement I'm seeing. I mean, there was even like a New York Times article the other day that my mom sent me, and it was like talking about the rise of like American hardcore. But I mean, they said hardcore, but they were including like a lot of these OSDM bands that are coming up too.
Well, that's kind of the thing. A lot of these bands kind of like transitioned a little bit into hardcore.
Yeah, there is a lot of crossover in like hardcore and death metal now, I think. But like we are not really like a
conventional.
We'd have like hardly any like heavy parts where it comes to like breakdowns. We don't do a lot of chugging. It's really like a lot of riffs, a lot of really fast playing melodies, solos. And it's like really grinding sometimes, but it's also like kind of mellow death. And I've had friends say stuff like, straight up. A lot of them OSDM bands coming out of Texas. Yo, shout out to Flesh Rot.
They were awesome.
Shout out to Death File Red.
Death File Red too. Holy fuck, Death File Red was sick.
And Mortuary, were fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like our band we're a little bit more noodly than like a lot of.
I think we're
death metal bands right
death
now.
metal, and also a metal band that has we're kind of transcending a little bit more than just your traditional death metal and what people are putting out as death metal.
Yeah, we kind of got thrown into like the death metal genre, but if someone were like, "What is your band?" I feel like we're just like a heavy metal band.
Right.
Tim's like, we're not a heavy metal band. Not even like heavy metal. We're just like a metal band.
But there is a lot of influence from.
I like the analogy from before with the rock and roll influence.
There's
I feel like we have a little bit of rot and roll.
Rot and roll.
Right on.
Carcass,
Let's go.
And I think we have a little bit of a spice of
blackened,
but also a little bit of I don't know how to say, maybe Oriental melodies that are kind of I don't know.
No, I mean he so Yoav did write almost all of the riffs. Me and Tim also play guitar, and we have a lot of riffs that kind of snuck into the album as well. But it's like I would say like 90% of it is like Yoav, and he does a lot of the
and I come from
composition and just like the main like riff ideas. And then we kind of jam it all out in person. So
I think what Yoav's trying to say is he is Middle Eastern himself,
right? And I think there's a little influence,
a little bit of that,
definitely,
kind of like kind of style of playing. I feel like
I don't even know what it is
that region
because I'm not
Mediterranean. I'd say
Mediterranean.
Yeah,
right, Mediterranean.
His strong suit is the fact that like he has absolutely no idea how like contemporary American like death metal culture kind of exists.
I love it.
And so he's a fucking absolute wild card.
Yeah, so I kind of
we love Yoav for that. I
kind of just come up with stuff that I don't really understand musically what I'm doing, but it sounds and I I can memorize it,
And it's fun.
they get it.
We get it, yeah.
And if they approve of it, and is this music? Okay. and then we kind of like roll with that ball. And a lot of times I might come up with a thing, and then like Travis or Tim would say, yeah, do it like add more notes to it, or they take it to a different groove, and then it embodies something that I would never have anticipated. So it's a very much of a joint effort too, and it's very fun.
He brainstorms on the whiteboard, and then me and Tim sculpt.
Yes, they're more.
Me and Travis we've been around a little bit, and I don't know. I feel like that y'all was the perfect like chaotic element that we needed to make it not boring. Yeah.
It is not boring. Like I said, even to
cool.
a death metal guy or a hair metal guy that only knows a few death metal bands and a bunch of thrash, I found it very interesting for all of the reasons that you guys just talked about. But something we haven't talked about yet was another thing that kept me interested was the vocals. Because the vocals are brutal and they're cool, but it's not your typical Cookie Monster.
It's amazing.
And I could understand what you were saying for the most part, which for me was a big deal. So,
I think that we appreciate enunciation over here too.
Yes,
I love my like stupid, ignorant, like can't understand them bands.
Yeah,
but I love everything.
I love
man.
Slam so much.
For this band,
shout
I feel
out
like
to
Tim was a good.
Cephalotripsy
for sure. Honestly,
I do think we're trying to tell a story. I don't know what the story specifically is. I know what it's inspired.
I do like being like. I like that Chuck Schuldiner style of vocal where it's like
you can understand.
Enunciated and you can hear everything he's saying, but still like growled and hard.
That's it.
I want to like push it harder and like throw in a few like ultra brutal lows here and there, like some slammy lows.
I think that Chuck Schuldiner is a big influence on the band from many perspectives. Yeah. He's my personal biggest idol.
Yeah, and they're playing too, to be honest.
So as I think about it, and I'm hearkening back to the set that you guys played, I think that's exactly what it is. It's like if Death were playing "Train to Bangkok" by Rush. It has some Mediterranean feel to it.
Compliment we could ever get.
And yet it was heavy, and I noticed that Travis even introduced a little blast beat, but just for a very short period of time. And but for the most
in the right places too.
Right in the right places. But the thing was,
I'm sorry, I have to interject real quick. I hate blast beats, man. I say that out of love. I love.
I watched you do one, and you had a grin on your face, and I thought he hates this. He's gotta hate this.
The thing with Travis is that he kind of drums differently every song. He experiments all the time, and even when the album was that was the set of drums that the album got. But at shows you could, and sometimes it's off the chain. Like sometimes we're playing, and I'm like, what? I'm trying to get into that because it's just everywhere, but it's also really off.
I have my anchor points, but I'm also, the energy that we have when we're live, I think it's a very, very specific energy. And because of the way that we play, it allows us to play in a way that we're not really confined within a very formulaic way of playing the song.
Even the guitars, you could play the melodies with different enunciations,
different inflection,
and it'll sound different, but it'll be in place, and I think that kind of it helps me.
Well, and speaking of which, and I don't want drummers to just talk about drummers all day, but Travis was even swapping out cymbals. He'd have a set of cymbals for one song. He'd swap them out, put a different set of cymbals, so there was a different tone and a little different intonation, and it wasn't because he cracked a cymbal or he broke a cymbal. It was very deliberate. And but there was such a strong groove.
He was just experimenting. It was like, okay, let's try this song. And
there's some songs where it's like sometimes I really, really like having two rides. I'm a big sucker for two rides. I like my big cymbals, and I'm really heavy with bells and like accents. And I feel like it's a really easy way to manage like the flow in a fast death metal song is by using a lot of ride bell. And I also try to keep my setup like really minimal. Like I don't have a big drum kit. I have 4 cymbals on my kit maybe at all times. And when we recorded at Pete's, I had 7 cymbals laid out on the kit, and that was like the most cymbals I've ever had.
It was like the first
I've
time,
ever played
right.
with that, but I just had all that at my disposal for that time. But
And
usually
you
it's just
used- and you
4
used them all.
cymbals and high tom, low tom, snare, 1 bass drum. And I feel like if I start making too much for myself, then I'll like go past the point of no return. I don't know where I am.
Don't want to be too decrepit.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
think I would consider your drumming inside our music. You're kind of playing music with your drums versus just giving a beat or
Yeah,
rhythm.
sure.
Like every part has its own, I don't even know, musical rhythm.
I'll say this. So I play in 5 bands, including this one, and
Whoa.
this band I can play whatever the fuck I want to play in this band. And it's
Typical
awesome.
drummer.
Yes. Yes.
Well, good
So
ones
tell
are
us
hard
about-
to find.
All logistics around the drumming. Where is he going to be at this time? Where is he going to be? But we work. But we work around it. We're very flexible. Yes. And we also don't have on guitars. We don't have any effects. It's just straight into the amp. The
Yeah.
B52 amp, which I love. Crate amp.
Yeah.
And
Crate cab.
and I have a Jackson. We have
B52
a Fender. What do you have?
They're
Yeah.
all my head. They're all my amps.
We're not really working like with any crazy gear, honestly. We're kind of working with like pretty like middleman gear, but it's all like workhorse stuff because we're just on the road a lot, and honestly,
Yeah,
shit
we
gets
play a
so
lot.
banged around. Like
And I will speak to this because I was there and watched it happen. But they loaded in and loaded out of a Suburban, including merch, which of course they had a plethora of
Thank you
merch.
for buying so much.
And it was nice to see.
This guy looked at my Encyclopedia Metallum page, dude.
And it was nice to see that they were like streamlined, but they had a big sound with a little equipment. But Scott, you were going to ask a question.
I
Well,
want
I was just gonna ask what other bands he was in.
yeah. So real quick, tangenting off of that, like, so TJ, guy's been commenting. I don't play with Giger anymore. That's back when I played in Giger probably like in 2017. That was an old like stoner like sludge doom kind of band.
This
that I
is
played
when
with
we lived in Georgia.
Yeah, this is back in Georgia. Still a very
Both
sick
of
band,
us.
and I have some very very close friends of mine that I love and respect a whole lot that are still carrying that band on. So go check out Giger. And Avery Bradshaw and Macaulay Crawford. And I actually don't know who's playing drums right now, but those guys are carrying that on. But bands that I'm actively playing in, I play in 3 other bands here in Denver. I play in a band called Tysis, and that's spelled Phthisis. Some people don't know how to like pronounce that band, but that's like a more classic death metal band.
They've actually been around.
Yeah, Tysis has been around. I
Snap
play
38.
I play in a band in Atlanta called 38 Snub,
38 Snap.
and that's more of like a hardcore kind of beatdown band. And then back to Denver, I play in a band called Zingaro. That's like a kind of like a jam band. And
And
then
they
I
sound
play,
like Osric Tentacles.
yeah.
There it is.
Kind of like
Bingo.
that.
He said it every episode. He
What,
said
was he finding a way to sneak tentacles in there?
Osric Tentacles, the greatest
Yes.
band ever.
Zingaro is all about tentacles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's where the.
It's all about
that's
Subnautical.
what the reference is.
I didn't,
Uh,
I
it
didn't
is.
know that.
It is. But
Yeah.
then
But that's why he has the mask.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Cthulhu.
And then I play in a band called Hacked Up, which is like a power violence grindcore band. So
Oh
Oh my
Tysis,
gosh.
Hacked Up, Zingaro, 38 Snub, Tysis. Insipidus. Sorry, I'm really high right now.
Don't forget. Don't want to
That's
lose
okay.
it.
I got this package on my porch today.
Uh-oh.
Oh, excellent! Extra
Yeah.
long dildo.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yep.
Well, there goes the PG-13 rating.
Thanks, Greg. I did get a cool poster in that tube, though. It was a poster. It was not an extra long rubber wiener.
That's okay if it was.
We will.
Yeah, no shame.
But
We're not judging. Well,
I heard that Robbie tried to get us a shirt from the merch store. We need to update. We have a lot of merch, but it's
Oh
not,
yeah, we don't have our merch
Not
store
reflected.
updated at all.
not reflected on the.
We got a lot of shit.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah. Well, I did success. So I'm famous for nothing except for one time I did buy soap from Vindicator. Yes, soap on
All
the
right.
show. and Vic is going to send me some more soap. And so on this show, I did buy your demo recorded.
Oh shit!
Awesome.
Wow, super rare.
Thank
yeah,
you
there's
so
like 5
much.
of those left, so now you have one.
Yes, and I think some of them are here. So
Can't wait.
Yeah, go look at Packed Up. They're sick.
If there is any way I could be a fanboy and get you guys to sign it, that would be awesome.
Yes,
we can
definitely.
do that easy.
Sure.
Send it
I
to us.
love shit like that.
Yeah, we'll
We
sign
will
it
do
and send it
that.
in the package.
We will do that.
Oh, no, Fraser.
I
It's
give
just a poster tube.
Can I give a shout out to my solo project real quick?
Anything you
Oh,
Yeah,
want.
man, go for it.
Well, if we're past the PG-13 rating, it's extreme vaginal discharge.
Okay.
He plays in a
Extreme
one-man
vaginal
slam
discharge.
band. called
Check them out.
Extreme
What's
Vaginal
the-
Grind,
What's the name of
thrash,
the track that's out on band?
We got bacterial vaginosis. We got what is it called? What is it?
Multi-pussy.
IBS,
No.
irritable bowel syndrome. Cadaver cuisine. Toxic shock syndrome, which of course happens when you leave in
It's
your
wonderful.
tampon for
It's
too
wonderful
long.
music.
It's all like STD, like horror gore.
Check out the
Yeah.
the cover on
Extreme vaginal discharge. Look it up on
EVT.
Bandcamp.
I was going to say, I just tried to look it up on
that
Bandcamp.
one. That one too.
Yeah.
That was all
Oh yeah, you see it? Yeah.
No, I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's deep in the recesses.
It's a classic.
I found it.
Oh, there you
Oh, look at that look on Scott's face. Oh, wow.
go. Oh my god.
Extreme vaginal discharge.
He keeps saying it so like spread out.
.com.
That's that's something.
Mhm.
That's some art right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Is
So
the name of the band Extreme Vaginal?
yeah.
Yep.
Extreme vaginal discharge.
As in multi-pussy, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not finding it.
I'll send you
Say,
the link.
say it again, Timmy. Might as well. Go ahead.
It's on Bandcamp.
We're just looking
Shut up,
for
Fraser.
I did try to find it. It's medical
smoking some
terms.
fine Colorado bud.
Actually,
It's medical terms. It's not that big a deal.
Sent
Yeah,
it to you.
Yes.
I got the band name because there was like a legal commercial about an IUD that malfunctioned, and that was one of the symptoms: extreme vaginal discharge. They said this on like cable TV.
He really went for
So I
it. He
was
grabbed
like,
that one, dude.
That was a
Thank you for
moment of
that.
inspiration.
Yeah, I need that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's something you don't want. I mean, so you do
I
need to
think-
call a
Certainly.
lawyer.
I think a lot of that energy goes into Insipidus too.
yeah.
That Tim brings in with his Tim Bling. Is
Oh
his,
my god, Scott said pussy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I have terrible vision, so I'm always like squinting and like reading the comments.
That's right.
That's
And
moldy.
you're high as a.
Yeah, my highness
Anyway.
isn't helping either. I'm like, oh.
Well, boys,
Vaginosis is.
I appreciate you coming on the show. It is awesome to get to know you. I did buy your tape because that's
Thank
how
you.
I roll. And I'll hit up one of you guys or hit me
Oh
up
my
an email where I sent you the link and I'll grab a shirt or something.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for
wait.
inviting us.
We have a good comment here.
Ah,
Maybe it can
Rose
be.
did.
Okay.
There's something in the water in Pennsylvania, Lisette. I don't know what it is.
Be on tour. We'll have you on the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not
Put it
gonna be
open
able to
for
top
his
that.
event.
Insipidus, yes.
So
You guys will
we're
put
taking
in chat.
him.
Oh, brother.
Lisette wins the comments today.
Yeah. That's a
Well,
lawyer
guys,
from That's
thank
a
you
lawyer
for
from
coming on.
Pennsylvania.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for pimping all your side bands and projects. We definitely look forward to seeing the album come out.
Thank you.
Like I said, here I'll get a ballpoint after the artwork if y'all need some help.
Excellent. Yes,
I
always
can
need
do
it.
that. I also
Thank
have
you.
blue Sharpie,
Oh,
Oh,
even
my
better.
God.
Painting blue. That's my favorite color.
red and green if you need it. So anyway, but yeah, you guys come on the show anytime. Next time you're around the Dallas, Texas area, let me know. I didn't know that you were around Carcass.
I did. Who
Nobody-
knew? I didn't know. Nobody knew.
We
Right
tried.
into the night,
They
dude.
just showed up at an unair conditioned billiard hall and just blew doors off the place.
Yeah, it was-
So-
Come to Denver.
Yeah,
We're playing a lot of
Lewis,
shows.
come on, man.
We're playing a show this Saturday at Black Sky Brewery with Human Paint and with Ego Death and other band.
Mayor.
How about
Great.
the first weekend in December?
I will actually be on a family vacation with my.
Oh,
kids.
that's right. I remember you said this because
We'll be-
I asked.
Whack.
We'll find a way to get back to you. Hopefully Big Rob's again. We loved the sound there. It was amazing to play there. We had so much fun, and we love playing around wherever we can. So we hope to get to your corner soon of the world.
Yes. Again.
Yes, again. And yes.
Yeah.
Well, definitely keep us apprised. You're welcome on the show anytime. Anytime we have a topic that you want to pop in on,
Definitely.
just hit me up, message one of us, and I'll send you the link.
Thank
Cool.
you.
All right, you boys know how we do it. Now we sign off. This is very complicated. I know that you guys play intricate music, but this is very, very complicated. We sign off and we say, until next time, metal will prevail. But
Oh,
you have to say metal will prevail. What? This is the tough part. While you do double metal horns.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Is everybody there? Yes.
Are you sure?
Oh, man, these guys are cool.
Will prevail.
All right,
know that there's
episode 147 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob. You can catch me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can catch the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art.
Let's do it like this.
You can find
Edit
Wealthy and
metal.
Talented and Silent
On you,
Scott
on you.
Waters on
Doing
YouTube by just looking up Scott Waters. And you definitely can find Insipidus very easily by searching Insipidus on
I like it.
Facebook, Bandcamp. I found out all kinds of good stuff about these guys. And I, Insipidus.
Oh, look, huge horn.
Yeah.
Metal.
So until next time. Oh, wait.
Till next
Yeah, I
time.
told you I was going to screw this up. Where's the outro? Here we go.
Hold on.
Until next time.
Metal will prevail. And now he makes stupid
The
faces until he
outro,
cuts us off.
The outro. Boom.